Okay, I finally get a chance to do some serious work on my BP solar panels. And I've got to this quite developed point really with it now. See, I've made well, I didn't make these brackets came with these panels. I just pinched some spare ones off some other panels here to make these mounting ones that will actually mount to the roof, and these ones are the connecting brackets which connect the panels to the actually square box section aluminium, which I got for free. So the only money I've spent so far on this mounting is for the fasteners themselves, these M6 bolts, 50mm bolts, and I decided to use M8 for the ones at the end since they're obviously carrying more weight, although M6 probably would have done. And there we have it. So yeah, just use my crazy drill. It's a drill I can rely on to drill it out. I did some of them with nice measuring, but in the end I just did hard lining up, as you do in situ, and just powered the drill on through, and we have a frame. So the only remaining thing to do now is to figure out where the end mounting bracket, whether it's going to be where this hole is that's already there, whether it'll conform to that, or whether I need to make a new position to obviously fit neatly on the roof between the corrugations, because this one is actually going up on the roof. In fact, it'll be our first proper move onto mounting panels onto the house roof. But I'm pretty happy with that. That'll probably be today's work, because I've got a bit of gale awning on this afternoon. Hopefully get in before the rain comes. As you see, it's pretty shitty sky out there. But this is my next little project. I'm sort of chasing the equinox, as it were. I'm chasing the season down, and noticed just after the autumn equinox was starting to get a noticeable drop off in solar production. So these aren't new, they're second hand, but the solar panels I have in stock, I'm slowly getting them up to hopefully mitigate or even negate, ideally, the decline in the sun, although I don't think I'll do it fully. But hopefully by the time the winter solstice rolls around, we should be making a sort of a dent in that deficit. I'll have all the panels that I have in stock up. I've got two more of these slightly older models, a few watts less to put up, two good ones, and then plus a so-called broken one which had one cell out of action that I've already dealt with. And I've got another massive 60 watt amorphous panel to put up, and that'll be it for this season, or for these two seasons. There we have it. Okay, and here's the two BP solar panels, all framed up now. I've been up on the roof and I've taken the measurements, so the mounting brackets are in the right place. Right up there is where it's going to go, up in the corner of the actual house roof. I've been up there today with roof paint and putting a second coat on there, so when I finally get around to doing the rest of the roof, I won't have to take the panels off, because that would suck. And yeah, that's pretty much it really for BP panels. All the bolts are all tightened and it's really good to go on the roof. Done the wiring. That's what the junction box looks like inside. It's basically two bypass diodes and a center tap solar panel, and I've just done a simple parallel connection here. As you can see, it's paralleled up in here, so that puts those two panels 12 volts nominal, of course, with 20 volts open circuit approximately, down these two cables here, which will be connected to a junction box up there further. I'll be doing away with this connector here on the outside too, and these existing panels will all be running into this new junction further up on the roof, which will be a lot tidier. So that's basically it. I'm just going to go and test these to make sure together that they give the required output that I'm expecting, and then hopefully get them up in time for still a bit of sun to test them. But I don't think we'll get full sun though. And here we are at the end of the day, and it's always the end of the day when you finally get everything installed and wired up and there's just not enough sun to really put it through its paces. Happens to me with most of these projects. including probably every single one of these. Well, some of them I might have even put up during cloudy days. But she's up now, as you can see. It's pretty solid. Leg bolt right into there, really long leg bolts, all bolted together. It's yeah. As I said, done away with the plug and the lead coming up here. I never really like those leads coming over the gutter there. Bit tidier now, and it's not quite finished. I've got to put a waterproof box around it, but I've just roughed it in for now, otherwise I'd be here all night as well. Got to buy a waterproof box actually, Bunnings on Wednesday I guess. There we go. It's just connected to a piece of 6mm TPS that joins to where the original socket used to. It should be adequate, and I don't know if you can see, there's actually a diode on here. The diode is actually connected to the new panel. It's a new feed-in diode. There's a reason for that, and is that these panels here are actually not 36 self panels. They're actually quite a bit more than that. So they're typical open circuit output voltage is about 25-26 volts, whereas these are of course your typical 36 cell panel, and it's only about 20-21 volts. So there is a very real possibility if the circuit was open at the other end that these could drive current back through these, particularly near the end of the day, you know, when there's a lot of sun on these and not much on these. So we couldn't really let that happen, so these have got a blocking diode. I did consider installing it in the junction box on the panel, but then I thought if I ever want to muck around with it and change it, no good. This TPS here's got a third core, the green core I'm not using, so there's always a possibility I could use that for a different sort of situation. Like for instance, if I wanted to run the high voltage panels through an MPPT controller and the other ones for a different one, that could work out quite handy for that, providing of course they're both a common negative. But you know, probably nothing like that for a while. These are just to try and keep up with the season. As the season declines, we're past the autumn equinox and, you know, heading towards the Samhain now, so we're just trying to keep things going. And that's about it for these BP solar panels. Hopefully I get some good amps from them.